Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. You get fairy dust. I get fairy dust. Little Amelie gets fairy dust. And welcome to another episode of Elizabeth's eating disorder recovery story. Okay. So last you left me, I was in treatment. I have very fond memories of that. Very, very fond memories. I guess I was in my late 20s, late 20s or 30, somewhere around there. Nope, it was a little after that because I know my son was born. So it must have been, you don't care. But that age range is helpful to you, but you don't need to know the exact age. Same. Okay, so I just very fond memories. I made my first experience of having a real relationship there. My best friend was a cocaine addict and sex addict that at the time he didn't know. He thought he was just a fucking alcoholic. And then when he got sober, he's like, oh, I have to deal with my sex addiction. And that has an asterisk because, the research is fuzzy on whether it's an actual addiction or not, but I treat all of this shit. I treat codependency as an addiction because it helps me figure out how to heal. It helps me distinguish between which is my eating disorder, which is me, which is my codependency, which is me, which is my sex addiction, which I do not have, and me, which my gambling addiction, and me. I consider perfectionism addiction. But these are just the advanced bitches definitions that work for me in my life. It's my interpretation, not science. So I wanted to talk about that because I remember being on the phone with my friend, and it was really cool. It was really cool because we had kids around the same age, and he was gay and had adopted his niece, and he didn't really have any of his friends who had kids. That wasn't. It was more unusual at that time. And so we became fast friends over that. We had play dates, we had hanging out together, tons of meetings together. He was an incredible, incredible, incredible man. The kindest person. And he loved me, and I loved him. And but I remember they made us call. Oh, I want to talk about something else from treatment. But they made us call, and over when we weren't in treatment, it was outpatient. And so I just said, do you want to just try this real relationship thing, And he said yes. And so from then on, I didn't fake it with him. I didn't lie. I didn't pretend I wasn't in relapse when I was. I didn't, and he accepted me for who I fully was. And it was the first time it happened. And the reason I'm taking a little bit of time to talk about that is because I see the thread, I see the path from him and my being willing to be vulnerable, my willing to, do hard things, receive. I'm used to giving, so receiving from him. I mean, bitch, we were two fawns, like. But I can see how doing that with him, fully loving each other, full realness. That was our commitment, to be fucking real with a capital R. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but in my, excuse me, Miss Amelie, that, I always capitalize the word because it's just is real fucking real. So for me to be able to achieve that kind of intimacy, to achieve that kind of depth of friendship, to give and receive love, to put my trust in a person, I see how that directly led me to the relationship that I have now with my husband. We've been married for 23 years, and he still adores me just like the first day he met me. Like he fucking is head over heels for me. And from the very beginning, I mean, it was so funny. On my first date with my husband, I'm like, okay, you just need to know, like, cause I, take this with a grain of salt, but I'm like, I'm a bulimic, I'm fucked up, I'm crazy. And then his reaction to that is like, well, here's my shit. And I'm just like, oh my fucking God. Like, he did it like, because I'm like, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time if this is a work for you. And then, but he disclosed, similar information, not similar, but, some vulnerable information with me. And it was, we're off to the races. I mean, and so the foundation of because I don't know that I would have been ready for Mark. I don't know if I would have been ready to receive all the love he was giving me. I don't know whether I would have been able to truly see him for who he is had I not had that first relationship that I made in treatment. And so in a way, I kind of owe everything to that treatment. Even though it didn't get me sober, it got me more sober, but it didn't get me completely sober. It changed my life completely. Now, everyone's not going to have that experience of, having a real relationship there. Because I went to treatment 2 more times, and it wasn't like that. I didn't have that thing. And maybe I didn't need it. I did, you get really close to people in recovery, but nothing like that. So that's why I can look back and say that was a little bit of magic that happened for me. So the other thing I was going to talk about from treatment was, so we have to be in real relationships. You have to find your safe people, and you have to be vulnerable with safe people. If you're scared because you don't trust anybody, that's fine. Look at the other playlist of the Ladder of Trust, and we learn to trust each other one rung at a time. We don't just say, what I used to do is like someone would say, I like you. Well, let's do everything together. Here's all of my bank accounts. Like, here's what I do now is like, hi, how are you? I like you. Oh, hi, I like you too. Da 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 da. More vulnerable, more intimacy, more. So yeah, so we have to do it, and we hate it, and we're gonna do it anyway, because that is part of the magic, and you got to work on your codependency. I mean, me and my friend, we had to work on our codependency issues. With each other, calling each other on shit. We just have to do that. But in the best and most healthy and appropriate boundary way. You get to practice boundaries in these real relationships, and they're fucking safe people. And these are the people who are like, I'm like, I realize like I need to leave earlier than I've been leaving. I can't stay as long as I usually leave. Oh, of course. Oh my God, yes. Because that person wants you sober. Instead of like, oh, well, all right. It's always like support. And it exists. That's the thing I didn't know. That this shit exists. Like, people can truly love us and want the best for us every fucking day. Of course, people make mistakes. Of course, I'm going to hurt my husband's feelings. He's going to hurt my feelings. But because we're in a real fucking relationship, we fucking make amends for that. And we figure it out. And, we're not going to fuck around with our relationship. It's too important. And so we have to learn that. And we have to start somewhere. And again, look at the Ladder of Trust and study it and practice it. I use the Ladder of Trust every day. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about is homework that we had from treatment. And I'm like, my mind is just going a mile a minute, thinking about all the things I could say about a real relationship, but we'll leave it there. If you have questions, do let me know. Okay. Okay. I could share like my deepest, darkest in groups. I could share how much I hated myself. I could share, that I'm just trash. I'm a horrible person, a horrible mother, a horrible everything, unsuccessful. What the fuck am I doing? Who would make these choices and all this shit? Like I could share all of that. But the minute you ask me, like, what do you do for fun? Excuse me, what? Like, what do you like to do? What do you do that's fun in your life? I don't fucking know. And now, fast forward, now that I know so much about childhood trauma, you know, you're not safe. You know, we don't develop self-protection. And when you don't develop self-protection, you're looking at Maslow's hierarchy, and you're always at survival and you know, physiological needs are here, and then self-actualization is a little triangle right up here. And so that bottom rung, like, we have to have these needs met before we can move on to these needs, before we can move on to these needs. So I truly did not know how to have fun. Now, I know you think that's crazy, and it kind of is. Anytime something was supposed to be fun, like a puzzle or throwing a frisbee, I'd be like, when is this fun? When does this go? I used to go hiking and be like, yeah, this is great, but where's all this stuff, that wonderful stuff that people say? Because I just want to go home and watch TV and eat. I went on vacation, and this was like, Jesus, like 7 years ago or some shit. Like, I was in London and touring, and it was a magical trip. And it was with my family, my grown kids, and we went on like street art tours. Like, we just did it. Like, we did I'd pick the shit that my kids would be most interested in, and we did it together. It was awesome. But I swear to God, about 2 p.m., I would just start thinking, like, when can I get back to the hotel and watch TV? When can I get... Like, my brain, and what I know now is I'm highly sensitive. That was a lot of stuff. Traveling's hard for me. The food's, a challenge when you're not at home with your kitchen, and, but yeah, like, just for me, like, if you really want to know what I do fun, it's eat and watch TV. Like, that's my hobby. That's my passion. Like, that's what it was. So we used to have this assignment, like, on Friday nights, because we'd be gone for the weekends, come back. We were supposed to write down the things that we would do for fun. So now I know I was telling you the thing. I could tell my deepest, darkest and not have tears. I could tell you what a piece of shit I am, but not have tears. When we had to sit down on Fridays and list fucking fun things that we had to do, I would just bawl. I would just cry a million tears, because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what people do to have fun. Like, I don't know. And when I do it, it's not even fun for me. And I would just cry, and I just feel, and I couldn't think of anything. It reminds me of, I grew up Catholic, and and I was a fawn, so I was so fucking good. I'm a rule follower like you've never seen. I would go into confession and make shit up because I didn't have anything back, So it was like I had to make shit up about what's fun for me. I don't fucking know. It's like, what's fun for you? Dissociating? Like, that's my hobby. Like, that's my pastime. Oh shit. And so I just bawl, and I just be overwhelmed. And it's crazy. What I realized later, because I really felt like a huge ass failure and crazy. Like, who doesn't want to have fucking fun? Like, who doesn't want? What I realized is that my fun is all the time. Like, how silly I am. I make myself laugh all the time. I think of this stupid shit. It makes me laugh. you've seen my TikToks and my reels. Like, you've seen a bitch is fucking silly and loves to play. And loves to sing and loves to dance and loves to, express myself like that. Before TikTok, I lived TikTok. Like, that was my life, singing, acting shit out. Like, just, like, I do that just without a camera on. Ask my kids. And so that did make me feel a little bit better, that playing all along, like just laughing at shit, laughing at stupid shit, laughing at the dark shit, like laughing at all of that's my fun. And then over the course of years, I have collected things that I have found fun. I will be honest, it's not that many. But me deconstructing it and trying to understand what that was, most of it, I mean, I could talk probably for 10 more videos about why childhood trauma kids can't play, why we can't have fun, but a couple of them are, we're not safe to have fun. So on that Maslow's hierarchy, playing would be up here, love and belonging, like up here, but, and having fun. But when you're trying to catch your breath, like people who have COVID right now are not having fun. You know what I mean? They're not like trying to have fun. They're trying to fucking breathe. They're trying to fucking live. When we have those physiological needs met, that we can then have fun. But if you grew up in childhood trauma, you never feel like those needs are met. You never feel safe, love, and belonging. You never feel you're on the bottom, and the bottom is the bottom is physiological needs. The one right after that is safety and security. So you can see like play and fun and magic and all the good shit is actually magic has found me all up and down the Maslow's hierarchy. Google Maslow's hierarchy so you could see what I'm talking about. And so forget magic, but playing, doing fun shit, like that's here. And so if we're always in surviving mode, if we're always in survival, we can't reach the place where we're playing. And, but everybody's different and we figure out strategies. Some people can use play as their fight or flight. So like avid runners, not all runners, it's not about running, but it's like, but people can displace their fun and displace their, lower needs, things that look like fun, but are they having fun? Like, what just popped in my mind are, rock stars. I mean, how many music documentaries, I'll end this now, sorry, it's 20 minutes. Music documentaries is like, we made it and touring, having the most incredible life that looks like so much fun. And they're wasted every night. And then later as they're looking back, they're like, I didn't really experience that. Not all, some. But yeah, that's why it was hard for me. So part of how we heal, part of our work as we heal from our eating disorder addiction, and you can see now, like in case you hadn't known, eating disorder is a lot more than just binging and purging. We're doing that for a reason. Binge eating, we're doing that for a reason. Starving ourselves, we're doing it for a reason. And what I'm talking about, what I learned in treatment was the beginnings of understanding all the other things that are played beneath the surface of why I fucking do it. Can you, like, of course, somebody who can't have fun, who doesn't know how to have fun, doesn't feel safe to have fun, will make her eating disorder fun. Like, if you ask me, is binging and purging fun? The answer is yes. Will it kill me 100%? Is it killing me when I relapse? 100%. But it was part of my fun. And so, and we need to have fun. So we have to find it. But sometimes when we try to find that fun, it is work and it's not fun. So, but all we do is follow the thread, follow the thread. This is a dumb example, and I said I was gonna stop talking, but like doing a puzzle, it's like, why? What a waste of time. And this is from a bitch who will spend 10 hours watching TV in a day. What a waste of time it is to do a puzzle. but someone sent me a puzzle for my birthday. It was the New York Times puzzle. It was awesome. And it's a puzzle of the front page of the day you were born. And there's something about connecting those words that was addictive. That was that. Not to be addictive, and I'm telling you, get another addiction. But it was fun. That's a better word for it. It was fucking fun for me. I'm such a fucking nerd. I love words. It was just that, and I'm like, wow. So follow the thread. If I would just given up on regular puzzles, that would have not been great for me because I would have missed that magical opportunity. And the only reason I did that puzzle, because I knew I hated puzzles, was because I'm a fucking fun and I wanted to make the person happy that gave me the puzzle. But it turned out it was so much fun. So this is depth of we're deep. This is deep shit that we're gonna do together. Like healing and recovering is, you know, the part that we're trying to heal is the eating disorder. And in order to do that, we have to heal all of it. We don't just get to heal our eating disorder because then we don't get to be happy and free. So if you want the happiness and freedom, you do the deep work. So I hope, but you will because you're an advanced bitch like me. Ding. Love you. Hope that was helpful. Bye.